16 events.
In 11 countries.
Fucking hell.
We actually started out of Cyprus.
From Cyprus, though.
From Cyprus, yes. So
How did that work? Cyprus entrepreneurs should
appreciate what an amazing island we have.
And the woman with the best hair design in the whole world.
Lilly Pavlou, founder of Cube Events, a company connecting business leaders through international conferences.
Her work has helped turn a Cyprus-based business into a global networking platform.
She hosts conferences attended by some of the world's leading voices in finance, technology, and innovation.
I can't comprehend of running an event out of your country. 25 years of operation. Have you seen people want more for events, less of events?
We're going to see an increase in events. The more technology sorts out, makes efficient processes, the more time we have face-to-face with people.
After 25 years, does everything go as planned?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of Made in Cyprus, big business story from a tiny island, or how you rebranded us, Mitsia Larotsi. Very interesting episode today, a person that I wanted to have a chat for a long time, and the woman with the best hair design in the whole world for sure. I absolutely love your hair, Lily. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Martin. Very excited to be here. I'm a huge fan as well, so it's
likewise.
mutually exciting.
Here we go. Lily, why events? Why did you get into the events? And tell us a bit more about Cube.
Wow. So, the whole story of Cube is really, it was a career journey, Martin. So I got into events by chance. I had moved to Cyprus when I was like 23, 24. And I had studied finance, and it was not something that I really wanted to do. And I was just kind of like fishing around in the Cyprus market to see what sort of international companies there were. I didn't really speak Greek. I didn't speak Greek at all, to be honest with you. So my options were quite limited. And I always wanted to get into marketing. And I'd heard about this international conference company that was set up actually in Nicosia. And their global head office was in Nicosia. And I had a cousin that had a girlfriend that had a cousin. You know, Cyprus, this is part of the Cyprus network, right? And they had told me about the company, and they knew the girl was in marketing, my cousin's friend's girlfriend. So I was like, oh, I really want to get a job. And then I had sent through my CV, and it was very multicultural as well. But they shut me down very quickly, so I didn't get a job through my personal network there. But actually, it's a nice story. My brother was coaching the CEO at the time, and he said to me, come down to the tennis courts, I'll introduce you to her. And yeah, we just went through a couple of months of interviews, and yeah, that's how I got into the event space. So I got in as a junior marketing assistant with no experience or background in marketing. And yeah, so the journey of the events world started, you know.
By chance, yeah?
By chance. And really, I was just blown away, you know, coming from South Africa. I was just I was so excited by going to all these different countries and meeting all these different, you know, people. And I just really, that whole event world really resonated with me. I really connected. And so I spent 8 years growing within that multinational company. I built up a career, and I had left at some stage, and I had moved into the whole finance world. And that was pretty cool, but I really felt like, you know, I could see the bridge between events and, you know, supporting sales teams, because I was in sales in my finance role.
Yeah.
So I'd seen that bridge, and I wanted to, you know, to bring value, and I really missed the events world. And that's when Cube was born. So a couple of years in the finance space, and I was like, no, let's set up an events company. So that was how it started.
Ένα λεπτό, αλλά μίλας ελληνικά τώρα? Λίγο. Okay, we're gonna have a fight here. Let's see.
Only if I'm like arrested or I have to speak to people that don't speak a word of
Αλλά
English.
έχεις Greek surname.
Yes, I do.
So
yeah.
I want to understand that.
Yes.
So tell me a bit more your family background. So you grew up in South Africa.
Yes,
Where?
Yes. So I grew up in Pretoria, which is the capital. I'm very proud of that. Everyone thinks it's Cape Town or Johannesburg, but I grew up in a very suburban life. Very exciting place to be, actually.
Greek or Cypriot parents?
Cypriot parents. My parents are Cypriot. Yes, they're actually from the north of Cyprus. They left they left quite sadly as refugees in 74.
They left
yeah.
for the war. Okay.
Yes, so hence why I was born in South Africa. So my parents are very, very Cypriot, very proudly Cypriot. I think we really struggled with the languages settling into South Africa. So, like the teachers were advising my parents stick to one language, and they stuck to English.
I was gonna go into that question because you're the first diaspora person that I know that speaks little. So it was an external pressure for that. Yeah.
Yeah, we weren't that multilingual in our family, I guess. But I mean, and the good thing about Cyprus is that everybody speaks English. So, and my friends, many of them are local Cypriot, are now even more fluent in English, having me as a friend, So I think it's worked out for everyone.
Yeah, for me similarly, right? Because I'm half Armenian and half Estonian. I grew up in Armenia, but I was born in Armenia. I even get myself confused on my background. I was born in Armenia, but my mom is Estonian, and I grew up in Italy. And when we went to Italy, like in the early 90s, we were living in Venice, which is like a very tiny island, right? Wow. And there weren't many immigrants back then. Like we were like in my school, it was just us. Now it's different, right? So, and kind of me and my brother, we had this push to go away from our original roots, and we started speaking Italian very quickly, and that's what we only spoke even in the house as well. So now I still speak a bit of Armenian, speak a bit of Estonian, but similarly to you, it was external pressure to integrate more fully that kind of departed me, let's say, a bit from my original family background.
So interesting. It's really, and I guess it's adapt to survive,
It's true.
And I guess it's, what are you going to do? But Italian's very nice to know.
Yeah, Italians are very nice to know.
Nice
it's good for food and travel.
Food, travel, many things, Martin. No.
And the other thing interesting that you said, that you studied finance, but then you didn't want to go into finance. So how did that happen?
Yeah, I guess, we didn't get the direction at school when we were making decisions around careers back in my day. It's quite a while ago. And I had very strong, I was good in certain subjects, accounting, math, okay, not that great, but generally. So I was kind of pushed in those, accounting faculties within university. But I always wanted to do the marketing as well. But I don't know, back in those days, we're talking about 30 years ago, Martin. There wasn't that many choices in the market. I didn't see the vision around marketing in those days, but I knew that I wanted to do something PR related. I wanted to do something with people. But I thought, let me get that degree done, and then I will look into it. So when I'd finished my degree and I did my honors and my master's, which was actually the honors degree in South Africa, and then I came to Cyprus on holiday, and then I just ended up staying here. And then I just thought, okay, what better way? Just get a career, just get a job in marketing. So that was the whole logic behind it. But yes, so I thought finance was a good degree to have. And there's been a lot of evolution in, kind of opportunities to study on different topics and different subjects now that we didn't have back in our days. So.
Yeah, it's true. It's like in my generation, again, there were those very safe jobs that you should probably choose for, but also there was still a mentality in Italy, which I think it's less relevant now, that you have to go to uni. Right? Whatever the uni is, you have to go to uni. And then even though you will not end up in a career with that specific specialization, you have to go. I for myself, for example, so I didn't go to uni. I went to a private institution, which was shorter, more practical, and I don't feel like I missed anything. I see many of my other friends that went into uni, they ended up doing something completely different, but they ended up starting it 5, 6, 7, 8 years later as well, right? So if you look at the CV, the work experience is much lower compared to someone like me that, let's say, took the sideways, interestingly. And Lily, would you consider yourself an extrovert, and that's why you were drawn towards events and people and community?
I think I am an extrovert. I mean, I would say that I am somebody that enjoys hospitality. So I enjoy meeting people. I enjoy building communities. I enjoy networking. Like I always thrive in those environments. I enjoy those environments. So I guess I have extrovert characteristics.
Yes.
But I also like more the aspect of bringing people together. And I don't mind like stepping back from that. So I think I love providing platforms where people can connect And I don't mind being on the background of it. I don't need to be, the person on the stage, I don't mind that. But I really enjoy, that opportunity to bring people together.
And if you look back at your when you were growing up, was that something that you naturally were doing with your friends and family? Like, if you had to think about it, were you always let's say, the networker or the connector or the glue between people?
Such a great question. And the answer is no. It's such an interesting question. I never thought about that ever. No. In my community, growing up, we had our circles of friends and we were but I was never somebody that would say, oh, that's extra, Lily's going to bring us together, or no, never. But that's so interesting as well, to reflect on that, because I think we definitely evolve as we grow older.
Yes.
And I like the fact that I've evolved into this, and that, it makes me think that other people that maybe don't think they have that skill set, or don't even know, we don't know what we're going to find interesting as we get older as well. So I really think that's so interesting, Martin. But no, I was not.
So somewhere along the journey, you went into it. That's interesting. And why did you decide to create an event company then?
So when I was working in the finance space, and I was working in sales, and I really felt like, there's always this connect between marketing and sales, how to get leads, how to create environments for our sales teams to get good quality conversations, And when I was in this sales bubble, I was always thinking, events are such a great way to generate opportunities for sales and business development, grow your networks. I mean, that's what they're essentially used for. And then I was just like, I'm really missing, being in events, So I guess that's how it happened. And I just thought, I know I can bring value. I know I can bring a platform where, people can get together and they can have those kind of qualified conversations.
Yeah.
So that was, how it happened, So,
there is a bit of a friction, though, between lead generation and sales and community in an event. So what's the balance in that? And like, how do you approach it with your events?
Listen, I think when it comes to community, firstly, it what we want to do is create an environment that's relevant,
Yep.
For a community to be connected, it needs to be, what the people in the room need to be relevant to each other. They need to have some sort of crossover in industry, crossover in, direction, or, companies that they're looking to approach, etc. So community is where we start first, and then we look at the other dynamics, so, the sales and marketing, the lead generation, which you just asked about. Again, it's about harvesting relationships. So when you have a community, you have the opportunity for people to, be part of that, get themselves involved in conversations and build the community for them. So that's, in a way, lead generation. And then sales is looking for direct conversations, right? So that's something that we facilitate as well, having a targeted approach towards, introductions. So we've tried to, within our environments, to provide the community for people to kind of feel natural and feel connected on a common ground. And then, having the opportunity to build their networks. And then we also have targeted conversations, which is more specifically for sales. Yeah.
How many years have you been doing then events?
Wow, I think close to 25.
What changed and what didn't change?
Wow. So what didn't change is that this is a business. This is a business for people. So it's still people meeting people. And I think that is what's not going to change as well. There's nothing better than connecting with people face to face. I was thinking a lot about it, because now with what has changed, there's a lot of innovation in, how within our business, it's all about, the CRMs, the data, how data is kept, how data is gathered, how data, is used. So, and marketing as well, of course. So all the innovation that's going on in marketing, and how, all these different channels that are available are being utilized. So that's been the major evolution over 25 years. 25 years ago, we did not have the Instagrams, the TikToks, none of that,
Yeah.
And just not the reach, and just not that global
Yeah.
reach, and not that platform and podcasts and all of that, we didn't
And
have any of
data
that.
was dormant in an Excel.
Exactly. We didn't have the right way to do campaigns, or, it was literally like conferences, It was that face-to-face by invitation, and it was it was very limited in the sense like now you can have a reach. If you're targeting a specific country in Europe, you can you can target the whole of Europe. You can target the whole world if you want. So the reach has definitely changed in how we can, reach companies, clients, giving them the opportunity to have sales opportunities through conferences as well. So a lot has changed, but mostly in how the community comes together and how wide that reach is. And of course, the technology side from the marketing side is definitely something that has evolved dramatically and will continue to evolve now with AI. And, we have a forum, international forum of, business owners in events, and what they're doing with agents now, and the different strategies they're following with AI. It's incredible. So, but still comes down to face. I think that'll never change.
Yeah, it's interesting. So the front end is face to face. It's not going to change. The back end, the operational, obviously is changing because of the technological advancements, right? Based on that, what excites you and what worries you on the changes going currently in the technological aspect, let's say, of the operational side?
What excites me, Martin, is quite maybe not that exciting for you, but it's data, like data, like, events is a data-driven business, and having good data, good quality data, having a way to, manage data is super, super important. So I'm really excited about the opportunities of having, the right technology to support that, you know. What scares me? Nothing. I'm excited. I'm not scared of anything. I'm very excited about the opportunities. I guess what is a bit kind of intimidating is how AI is being used, and I really am interested to see in events how that's going to rise up on the front end. So on the back end, I'm very excited and looking forward to capitalizing on this, advancement. On the front end, I think it's going to be interesting to see how it's capturing the knowledge on the stage. Maybe it's going to be tech that's going to be, capturing what people are saying, interpreting what people are saying, real-time reporting and all of that. But then we have all the restrictions around companies and, what they're allowed to say, what they're not allowed to say. So maybe freedom of speech might be impacted, So that's an interesting question. So I'm excited, generally speaking. I just, I have an eye of caution when it comes to thinking about how is it going to impact how people interact and how that messaging is going to be transferred in future. Yeah.
And throughout these 25 years of operation, have you seen people wanting and asking more for events, less of events, the same? So were they changes into this journey where you saw people having a slightly different approach towards events in one way or another?
I think it's without a doubt, and there's an increase in the demand for events.
Interesting.
Without a doubt, it's incredible how many events there are, how many event companies there are, each of them with different angles and each of them focusing on different aspects, And again, I find it incredibly interesting for many reasons. Firstly, I think, with all the tech, we always feel so connected, but still people need to connect face to face, right? So I think that draws through as a clear winner because events provide that face to face platform. But I think, yes, I think, for sure, we're going to see an increase in events, like the more technology sorts out and makes efficient processes, the more time we have to actually be connecting and face to face with people. So
it's interesting. I love what you said, because I do have a theory that as technology makes it easier for us to be connected digitally, intrinsically and subconsciously we developed a need to actually go back into face-to-face human interactions as well. And and one of my clients and a person that I was lucky enough also to meet fairly well, it's Eman Pulis from the Sigma events, right, from the iGaming. And he always told me when we were working together, that our goal is to create a place where people will have a drink together, will have some food together, will have some social activities together, because for sure, if that happens, then also business opportunity will be unlocked. And I love what you said about managing the lead generation and the community aspect. What comes first, what comes after, because it's very important as well. It's super important to be in a relevant room with relevant people and not be sold something that you're not interested into it, but just start more from a connection, friendship, networking space, because then if we know each other and we like each other, we will do business together eventually.
For sure. And I agree with you. I stand by that. It's community is common interest, and it's also feeling comfortable.
Yes.
So that's really important for that.
100%.
And I agree with him. And like, you need to have a drink together, you need to have a chat. It's nothing better to connect you and give you an opportunity to present yourself.
100%. Like, it's that famous cliche, network is net worth, isn't it?
Ultimately, I live by those words. I think it's so important. I have that on all of my I have that a lot on of our event materials. Your network is your net worth. It's so true now more than ever. Now more than ever, honestly.
It's true. And Lilly, how many events do you run?
So we've got 16 on our calendar this year. Last year we did 12.
16 events per year.
16 and in 11 countries.
16 events
in 11
countries. Fucking hell.
Yeah, bloody hell. It's true. It's a hell of a task. I'm very fortunate to have an incredible team, and they share my enthusiasm. At times, but at most times they share my enthusiasm. But we're really excited to build communities around the world. I mean, it's such a privilege, really.
How big is your team?
16 at this point.
Very busy, very busy team. So I want to get a bit into operations. So 16 events across 11 locations. When did you go out of Cyprus initially first?
We actually started out of Cyprus.
You did start out of Cyprus?
Yeah.
From Cyprus, though?
From Cyprus, yeah. So
how did that work?
Yeah, so we launched as a Cypriot company.
Yeah.
We were moving into the payment space, and the way we selected to do our first event was in Malta in 2017. That was a thriving economy for payments at the time, and English speaking as well. It just seemed, and I had been attending an event a few years previously to that, and I really thought that would be a great place to launch. So we launched.
When was that?
2017.
Yeah, so they already had the iGaming booth.
They did, and payments was becoming a thing. It was becoming
connected to each
thing.
other.
Exactly. So it made sense for us to start there, and we launched there. And Malta is one of our biggest events now. We've been there for many years. We have a great community there that supports us. So I'm very grateful, and we feel very much at home there as well.
Why did you not start in Cyprus, though?
I going back to that, I'm not really sure. I think what happened in that decision-making process was that we had hired some members of the team at that time, and they were based in Malta. And when we looked at the demographic because it was next-gen payments. So to be honest with you, it just fit that market at the time really well. Yeah. So that it was more focused around the content and what was happening in the payments world, let's say, in Europe.
That's where the demand was. Yeah?
Exactly. Thank you for.
But surely, it would have been easier to do it next door instead of doing. So I can't comprehend the logistic and the operational aspect of running an event out of your country, especially as a first event.
No. I'm not very experienced, Martin. So that wasn't an issue for me. What was the issue for me was relevance. Like, is it relevant in that community? Is it going to be because Malta at that stage was just launching there was a huge move towards attracting business. It was the whole thing around licensing. It was so relevant. So I focused more on the value offering. Yeah. So, and logistics wise, I mean, it's okay. We manage. We're professionals, right? Yeah. So we can manage that. So we flew in a couple of times and we sorted it out, and it was good.
Yeah. How long does it take to launch an event like that, operational wise, from zero? Let's say new location from zero today. How does it look like?
Wow. I would say it takes me about 3 months to do an event, to
Wow.
launch an event. So the first month we're actually looking at like sponsorship sales. We're looking at launching it, like save the date, marketing,
Yeah.
building the agenda,
Yeah.
trying to understand like the whole, like if I'm going to do 16 events in a year, like 3 months is different stages of, the events. So we catch up at different stages, right? So the first stage is sales, making sure we have the revenue, making sure that we're covered in that front. And then the marketing, like what is the market feeling about it? So we start save the dates, we start doing some campaigns, we start getting a feel for it. And then that's it. We go. We try and create good content so that there's value. And then obviously clients get attracted to that. And the event runs.
What's your view on huge events versus smaller, more intimate events? And what do you see in the market?
I love all events. I love the trade shows. I always have a good time.
Yeah.
I always say my challenge with the trade shows are really like, there's so much noise in the sense like, you get overstimulated. Like I went to the Sigma event a few years ago. Like I ended up like just hopping around the booths. If I had to actually have gone to do business and meet people, it would have been definitely at the after parties, which we were invited to. It's true. So we had a great time walking around the booths, having a few cocktails, So I love the trade shows and the whole buzz, and you kind of get an overview of what's going on in the industry. You see new players, you see, you definitely meet people. But you struggle to translate that into kind of a qualified conversation easily, But I do think it's great to get an overview of what's going on in the industry. The smaller conferences like Cube, 250 to 300 people, that's more like, more senior executives. We do one-to-one meetings, so we actually have a qualified way of, business introductions as well, making sure that our sponsors are, having qualified conversations. And I also like lately, we've been organizing and we've been participating in more roundtables, smaller events, dinners, things like that, where you can have like 10 people around that, have a similar interest in having a conversation. So I think a mix of all of those is the ultimate, I think you need to capitalize on, first you need to network. So you need to capitalize a bit on the bigger trade shows that are relevant to your industry, and then the smaller conferences where you can get a bit closer to the decision makers. So that's my view on that.
No, I mean, it makes sense, right? I'm also the same, like I participated to Sigma several times and other similar ones as well. Like, and I remember the very first time I walked into Sigma, I was highly overstimulated, right? I had a headache. I was not expecting it to be that. And then, you get used to it, you go around and you have fun. You have fun during the trade show, and then you like to have relevant conversation during the after parties and the gathering and the meetups. That's what they're trying to do.
Exactly.
What about content? So the way that I always feel about content is that like YouTube is full of amazing content, right? And sometimes it's hard for event to replicate that quality as well. So what is your view on the importance of content, the people that go on the stage? How do you guys try to approach that?
So because I do a lot on the content side, Martin. I would say that my approach on that is firstly like get an agenda together, and I'm going to use the word again, relevant. What's happening today, and what are we planning for tomorrow? Literally. So I like to put an agenda together that is packed. I think that's something we know that's known about our events, is that they're very packed. It's a mix of mostly panels and a few keynotes. Keynotes should be topical. They should be like addressing like major topic, and the panels are senior practitioners sharing their views of what's going on in the industry. So I guess it's up to them to share. We always say it has to go through two gates. Is it practical and is it valuable? Like now we're doing panel preps for an event that we have this week. Is it practical? Is it valuable? Are people going to come and they're going to listen to that and they're going to, connect with it? They're going to learn from it, and that's the direction we give. So with the panels, we're not scripting stuff. With the keynotes and things, we're able to like, make sure that there's some key themes addressed. But in the panels, we literally put practitioners together, key topics to be covered, and make sure that they bring some value to the room, So that's my approach on that.
Yeah. Do you see any difference and similarities in running events in Cyprus and running events in the rest of the world? Like, what's your furthest away event?
Austin, Texas.
Oh wow! On the other side of
Super
the
far, yes, and we love it. We love it.
do you go there when
yes,
they
yes, yes, yes.
Wow.
I do. I attend all the. My team, we try and all be together at the events. Actually,
So you
we
travel-
all travel. We all travel.
So
Some-
16 events, so you travel every month.
Yeah, we travel every month. Yes,
Wow.
yes, yes, yes.
What's the difference between the ones that you're running locally, the ones that you run in rest of Europe, and the one that you run in US? Then
To be honest with you, no difference at all. No
Wow.
difference at all. No, it's and really, Martin, that's what I've realized. People ask me, "Oh, how's it possible? You do an event here, you do an event there. We were in Zurich last week. We're in Malta the week before," and it's just people are people, you know, and they connect over common ground. That's the bottom line. So logistics-wise, we have 10-hour, 8-hour, I don't know, 10-hour difference with Austin. Logistics-wise, you know, it's a bit of a challenge, you know, time difference-wise, but that's really
Yeah.
just the logistics with the hotels, and we know them now. We've run 3 times in Austin.
Yeah.
We're running in New York in June as well, which is
Wow.
pretty exciting. And we're running in South Africa as well. So we're going back home, which is cool. So I guess it's just people are people. I don't see a difference in the logistics. It's relevant people in the room, common topics that are, you know, that need to be approached, addressed, you know, covered. And yeah, I mean, and because they're community events, meaning, you know, of course we have people flying in from all over the world that want to access the communities, but they're localized, meaning if you come to an event in Zurich, 70% of the people are from Zurich. If you come to an event in Malta, 90% of people are from Malta, you know. So I guess that's something I would add. Yeah.
after 25 years, does everything go as planned?
No, not at all. Not at all, Martin. I think you have to be. Everything goes as planned if we look at it top down and say, oh, everything worked out in the end. But obviously, there's always challenges around, like, you know, things happen with you know, with team, things happen with participants, things happen. So I think events industry is any business with people, you need to be able to like adapt and survive, adapt, adjust, you know, like, and just be flexible. And like, I've really noticed this about myself lately, and I think it's a good thing that's happened. Like every time I get like disappointing news, or you get that no that you were hoping was going to be a yes, and you know, it's just like, just keep going forward. Like, I don't give it any weight anymore, you know. I just keep pushing forward. And yeah, like now with the turbulence in the Middle East, we have 3 events in Dubai, you know, 1 in Abu Dhabi. So it's 4 events in the Middle East. And so many of our clients are like, Lily, what do you think about that now? What do you think about that? I'm like, guys, it's business as usual. Let's keep pushing forward, and we're going to face it when we get to it. You know, for now, like, just
So for
head
now,
up.
you didn't cancel them.
No, head up, keep going. You know, like, no, life has to go forward. I think that's something I learned from COVID. We cannot hold ourselves back or live in some sort of like suspension state, you know, like, no, like, we are able to adapt and survive. It's something that I love about the human race. We're resilient, you know, and uncertainty has become a way of life. And because of that, I'm like, no, nothing stops. Business as usual, you know. And of course, you know, if they do shut down, and they do, of course, we're going to adapt and survive. But for now, it's business as usual. And we need to maintain the attitude. We need to maintain the positivity, and we have to keep pushing our teams forward. We have, you know, companies are reliant on us, so we need to show a strong base and foundation so people can trust us and trust the system. And yeah, that's my
amen.
view.
I think events are one of the most affected industries every time that something happens. You know,
For sure.
COVID, this war, that war, is like all the major disruption. And you said it very right. Like I deliberately wanted to ask that question because, like, I have so much respect for people that are doing events, because nothing always goes as planned in a way, right? There is always something that happens. So you have to have people and an approach that thrive into the uncertainty and problem solving, because I know event people, it's hard work. It's really hard work.
It's hard work, and it's, you know, anything that's the basis is people, means that it's constantly, it's turbulent. But
people are not predictable.
it's so true. It's so true. And just knowing that gives you a position of strength. You know, so it's fine.
What is the biggest lie that the event industry tells to itself?
Wow, Martin, what is that? What is the biggest lie? I don't know. Is there a lie that we say?
Or misconception, or
What is the biggest misconception that the events industry says? That there are too many events. Maybe that's one. The misconception that there are too many events.
so there are not too many events?
I think that as long as there is a basis for the event, then it makes sense to have a gathering, you know. And I guess events are really the basis of them is relevance, as I always say, as long as it's relevant. But sometimes, you know, we speak to marketing managers or team leaders, and they were like, "Oh, there's so many events this year," and they have struggled to choose events. So I think it's about selecting the ones that are the most relevant. So if you can take that as a misconception. But the lie within the industry, no. I just feel like we offer a great platform for people to connect, and I really stand by that, you know. So, yeah.
And
Do you think there's a lie, Martin?
it's a good question. Lisa, like for me, the one of the friction that I see in events is the delicate balancing act between sponsorship and quality of content.
Bravo.
And again, I'm gonna be blunt as always. You know, I started to develop a strategy in regards to events when I'm looking at the agenda. So I'm looking at the sponsor, and then I'm looking at the agenda.
Are you doing matchmaking?
Yeah. If there is a person on the stage from the sponsor, usually are those kind of stage session that I'm not particularly interested in. And I don't want to generalize this. I don't want to say that every speaker coming from a sponsorship of the event is not as good, but I have to say that I did have some bad experiences as well, right? So I think for me, that is, I don't know if it's a lie. It's just a feedback that I have from being able to participate to lots of events as well.
And I will add to that, and I think it's a really, really valid point. You know, what we try to do is always, if we do have a sponsored session, we always say, listen, you have to bring in content. This is not a product pitch. So we do lay that out. But of course, speaking about bad experiences, we have had those companies get on the stage, and then before you know it, it's like this and that, and you're like, you know, we don't want that. Actually, so we don't want that at our events. We don't want product pitches. We don't, you know, it never gets received well.
Yeah.
And that's such a good example. And this is what I always tell our sponsors. I'm like, you're going to get a much better insight and feedback from the audience if you really present some sort of like great topic and give them some like case study. Like we had this now in Zurich last week. One of our sponsors did a keynote, and it was a case study, and it was so brilliantly delivered, you know, and he got such great feedback, and he was texting me after, and he's like, wow, this worked brilliantly. And it was because it was really a structured session with some real insight. It wasn't a product pitch, and I think that's a differentiator. And we do try, most companies, Martin, try to avoid that. But sometimes when they get on stage, you know, you're like, oh shit, you know, like.
Listen, like being on stage, I think it's a huge responsibility.
I agree.
And it's a work of empathy, right? And it's a work of empathy towards the people that are giving their time to listen what you have to say. So like I've done a lot, and I'm doing a lot, and it's something that I've been working on myself a lot in terms of like public speaking and being on stage. And I have a huge respect for the people that are on my audience. But I also know that I'm not as good as many others that you can find on YouTube. Like on YouTube, it's such a huge source of good content, right? So I always try to give them something that they cannot hear, or at least to go with an energy they cannot experience in the stage as well. And I love the case study example, because I reckon that case study will not be able to be appreciated online anywhere else. So it's a unique content that gives back behind the curtains reality of something that is tangible and then is practical as well, you know. And one of the things that I have a rule when I'm working with the event companies, or like, you know, I'm doing the fuck up nights, and I'm looking at the content and some of the talks that I go as well. I always try to kind of like have this strategy of like, if I'm on stage on Friday, I want to be able to give something to the attendees that they can bring to life on Monday when they go back to the office.
Amazing.
You
That's
know?
such a great mindset to have. And it's true, it is such a responsibility. And, most people do take it very seriously,
Yes.
and I appreciate that. And you're right. And with regards to YouTube, I mean, we get all down that, like that rabbit hole sometimes when you're scrolling, you end up in YouTube for hours. So I think there's a space for everything.
It
the
is.
great thing about events is like when that person does come off the stage, you can actually like grab them for a chat,
That's
which
right.
I also love, like suddenly like what we're seeing on YouTube becomes tangible in real life. And I love the fact that we can get close to practitioners because they are doing incredible work, and it's such a privilege to have them on the stage. So yes, I agree with you. Love that, Martin. Agree.
What is something you should be focusing on, but you're not?
Technology. Yes, I find it daunting. Thank God I have there's a lot of, my team is very young and they are all on board the tech side. And I'm always like, okay, look at this, look at that, give me feedback. And then when they want to give me the feedback, I'm like, yeah, when we get back from this event, like I'm always kind of kicking that can down the road because it's such a commitment for me. I find it very challenging to understand, but I see the value, and I'm planning to commit the time, and I'm planning to commit the resources to get that, technology under our belt and part of our system. So yeah, that's what I'm kicking down the road.
Good answer.
Truth be told.
Good answer. Lily, before I let you go, finish this in one sentence or less. Okay? The event industry is
dynamic and exploding.
The hardest part of organizing event is
the people, getting involved with people, people. Let's say people.
Yeah. Community means
people again.
Cyprus entrepreneurs should
appreciate what an amazing island we have and what opportunities there are to bring people here, which we really strive to do.
Amen. Success for me is
alignment. So I've said it before, like when my goals align with what we actually do, that's success for me.
Amazing. Honestly, amazing answer. And I'm fully aligned for you as well. Lily, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Martin.
Where can people find you if they want to learn more about you, more about Cube, or interact with you? Puise.
We're online. You can catch us on our website. Anyone can reach out.
What's the website?
Tangible. www.cubeevents.com. And you're most welcome to reach out. Be very interested to hear from people and to connect with them. So
and you're also on LinkedIn as well, right?
Of course, I'm on LinkedIn. Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Remember, subscribe, like, share, tell your yaya, tell your friend. If you know someone that you believe it should be here on this yellow chair, please reach out to me. You know where to find us. And see you next time.